Hey everybody, hey, this Keisha, Bro, Claude, and Tony. We back in the Players Club. We figured we'd come back here and sip on a drink and talk a little bit. Before
Yeah.
we get into that, y'all come on in, hit the like
Yeah.
button on this video. Please share and comment. The Players Club is on a journey to 1,200 subscribers. Right now, we at 1,121 subscribers. Please come on, give us at least 10 to 20 subscribers after you finish watching this video. We will really appreciate it. How y'all doing, Panna? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all?
What's
Gingerbread
going
man in
on,
the house.
everybody? Hey, we ready. We ready to kick this off. We're doing wonderful.
You
Live
do
at five. Live at five.
live at five.
Live at
Live at
five.
five.
At
Look, make
12:34.
I know. Hey, help us get to 1,200 subscribers. 1,121. Also, subscribe to Bro Claw's channel, Steady Serving ENT. Subscribe to Tony's channel, Court Vision with So Pretty Tony. And make sure y'all come over there and give your girl a like, a subscribe, and cut the ish real talk sport.
Sports.
Thank you guys.
Yes.
Thank you guys. But hey guys, let me let you know. We up in here talking about Angel Reese again.
Yeah.
And because baby girl just keeps lighting up the social media waves, we that makes us have to talk about it. We want to tonight, we really want to talk about some facts, give you some history to go along with the Chicago Sky, try to figure out how we get here in this moment with this as we call it, this flash moment where we got this big social media, online presence. Everybody's talking about, everybody's weighing in, everybody's talking about this decision, this discussion. Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky. That's all people been talking about for the last 3, 4 days. That's all I see online. And it's competing with NFL guys. And then people are still talking about it. So I think what I'm gonna do, panel, what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna go through the history. We big shout out to No Cap Space. They actually broke down the history of the Chicago Sky, how players came and went. And so I want to just use a little bit of their um commentary and then we're gonna talk about it. Here we go.
20 years of history that everybody is missing in the Angel Reese Chicago Sky debacle, and why I think the only way this thing ends is either with Jeff Pagliocca being fired or Angel Reese being traded. So the first real superstar of the Chicago Sky was Sylvia Fowles, multi-time All-WNBA player, now in the Hall of Fame, was actually just inducted this past weekend. She left the organization, demanded a trade, and even sat out the first half of the year in order to do so. A big reason she wanted to go to the Minnesota Lynx, state-of-the-art practice facility right across the street from the Target Center where Minnesota plays. Now, the Sky made the WNBA Finals in 2014, but Pokey Chapman was fired about a year or two later, and it was rumored that there was a rift between her and Sky superstar Elena Delle Donne. EDD came out and wrote in her autobiography that that actually wasn't the case, and the 2017 Chicago Sun-Times report indicated that it was actually the firing of Chapman that was an issue for Delle Donne and a reason that she wanted to leave. EDD was later traded to the Washington Mystics, and the Sky spent a couple years in the wilderness. It's during that time that they hired James Wade, and in Deerfield, right near where the Sky practiced, a little-known former JV boys basketball coach who had never played competitive hoops himself is rising to prominence as a developer of NBA and WNBA players. He worked with Steph Dolson, he worked with Diamond DeShields, and in 2022, he started working with Courtney Vandersloot. This guy's name is Jeff Pagliocca. So after James Wade leaves in 2023, things are more or less a disaster. The Sky have no draft picks. Candace Parker has just left. Kalia Copper wants to be traded out. The Sky, without a GM, hires Teresa Witherspoon to be their head coach, and then 3 weeks later, they hire Jeff Pagliocca to be the first standalone GM in the history of the franchise. So Pags gets to work, he makes a couple of trades, and ends up actually getting the picks that would become Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso. But very quickly, as we saw in 2024, things go off the rails a little bit. Spoon ends up fired, Kennedy Carter ends up being let go, and is now playing basketball in Saudi Arabia, I think the last time I checked, and we end up in 2025, where Vandersloot is back with the team, his loyal lieutenant, the person that he credits in a Chicago Sun-Times article for actually helping put his career onto the path that it's on now. So however you want to slice it, it seems pretty clear that there is a divide within this locker room. Angel Reese on one end, Courtney Vandersloot and Jeff Pagliocca on the other. Here's where everybody is right and everybody is wrong. It's valid if you're Pags and Vandersloot to see the fact that you won a championship in 2021 under this same culture that you feel you are building now, and feeling that Reese needs to step in line because, after all, you have the WNBA ring on your finger. Angel, however, is just as valid. Did she do the right thing in how she communicated her remarks? No, but she's 23 years old, and this is the type of growing pains that young superstars can occasionally have. Each side thinks that they are right and has a better idea than the other about what is good for the franchise. But what the Chicago Sky are doing right now is disrespecting their superstar to such a degree that everybody is noticing it. Other franchises, other teams, other players, us in the media, all of us see that the way they are handling a potentially generational superstar is wrong. I wrote a full column on this on nocapspacewbb.com. You've probably seen it on some other social media avenues, but check it out at the site. It's this video expanded even further, where the Sky have gone wrong since day one and how they aren't dealing with Angel Reese right now.
So hey, that was a lot. That was a lot to unpack, but I would just give a synopsis right quick. One thing that stood out for me was he was talking about how Jeff P pretty much was a JV basketball coach. He started his own business, started doing development, basketball development on the side. Did Diamond the Shields, worked with Diamond the Shields, worked with Vandersloot, worked with Stephanie Dolson. A championship was won during that time. So basically, with Vandersloot coming back, Vandersloot kind of launched his career, so to speak, because his basketball development business took off and got him a job with the Chicago Sky, and now it has gotten him a job as a GM. So when you think about it, to me, this is just my soliloquy. When Vandersloot comes back, Jeff P owes Vandersloot a lot for his success. So Jeff P going and telling Vandersloot that she is not the general of this team is not going to happen, because he feels like he owes a lot to her. She launched his career. She launched everything that he got going on in Chicago. On the other hand, you have the new guard. You do go out and get these potentially generational talents, and Angel Reese, and also Kamilla Cardoso, because that's what he thought Kamilla Cardoso was going to be. Let's just keep that real. So now you got the new guard coming in with the old guard. The old guard is saying, hey, I won a championship back in 2021 with the culture I had. I'm not, Vandersloot, I'm not over the hill. I still got something left. If you would just listen to me. And then you got the new guard going, but the game has changed. The business has changed. We're in this flashpoint moment in women's basketball. And what y'all did in the past is not going to work in 2025. So I'll let you go, Tony. What you get from the video from the guy from Cap Space breaking down the last 20 years of the Chicago Sky dealings?
Right. So what I get from it is basically the same thing as you, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, Vandersloot has to figure out a way, if she's going to come back, to play within the realm of the team of the young players. Mm-hmm. The young players are the way of the future. Vandersloot may have at best if she is able to come back and get herself into playing shape from her rehab, right? Because if you notice when she first came back and before she got hurt, the game is moving at a much rapid pace than what she's used to. She's, as I've said before, players get older and they lose a step here and there. And as they lose that step, you have to be willing, especially if you are not that franchise player, right? You're coming back and looking to gain something that you want solely for yourself to end your career on top. But at the same time, how you left because you wanted something greater and you wanted to challenge yourself. You left to go to New York. You did that, but you realized you weren't going to get the playing time you wanted. So it was easier for you to come back to Chicago and end everything up here because this is where your family is, this is where your wife is, your baby is, all that good jazz. We're not going to get off into that. But the game is moving at such a rapid pace. And I've said this a few times when it comes to the sophomores and the freshmen of the league, which are your rookies and your second-year players. They're moving. Their mindset is so much faster. The game is so much faster. The pace is so much faster. How these young ladies maneuver is even faster. And you have to somehow figure out a way to keep up. And right now, that is not Sloot. Sloot has lost a step. And there's nothing wrong with that. We think in our minds when we get a certain age and we're still playing, or we feel that we can still be the best version of ourselves when we were 18 or we were 23, when we're 36, 37, getting ready to be 37. We're not the same player. You're not as fast as you were. You don't think as quick on your feet. You may be smart and you can probably teach some of the younger players something, but to be able to play in a realm of the game and which the way the speed of the game is right now is not Vandersloot, right? So the change of the guards have to happen. And for players like that, they have to learn to know when to step back. What you had when you were with Chicago the first time is great, right? But that time has come and gone. This is a rebuilding, and this is not the time to bring in players who want to come back and reinvent themselves. Sometimes reinventing the wheel isn't always best. It may be best for boo-boo team over there, but not for this team right here when you're trying to grow something and build something. And right now you have two hungry bigs, the Twin Towers on your team that will never truly understand the losing column. I'll just say it like that because they're so used to winning, and we understand that in a professional season that's not the case. But I know that they don't depict to go in their third season. You're asking them to go in their third season with an older point guard who's lost a step, who can't keep up. I get that that's what you want to do, but you cannot ask these. If this was their second year, I would say, you know what? Hey, look, Angel, this is what we are, this is what we're doing. But you're asking them for their third season in a row to be trash. And that doesn't sit well with Angel. And this guy, he has said it very, very well, giving us the history of the Chicago Sky and how Vandersloot left, what the change of the guards were, and now here we are here. Sometimes you just have to listen to the younger players because they do make sense, and that's how I see that. Vandersloot wanting to come back and still be a part is good, but she needs to do it from a backseat perspective and just be a teaching tool at this point if she wants to still be a part of the organization. But coming in and being the franchise and being the go-to person and being that option, you're going to be the second option behind Kamilla, and that's just not it. Angel has proven herself to be where she is, and no one should be able to defame her. This is your franchise. This is your future, and you have to let your future cook. And I'll let.
I'm with you. I think that's why I call this thing. It's kind of like a clash. They trying to recreate something that what they had. They don't even have the same. They don't even have the same personnel, same coaching staff, none of that. The only thing that is the same is Vandersloot and Jeff P. What you got on this, bro, Claude?
Well, I would say this. You have a situation that was made way before we're looking at the layout of the play, right? Mm-hmm. The situation that was made was with James Wade and the way that he had inherited the team. We watched on the 20 years on the inheritance of James Wade, and he was able to pull a rabbit out of the hat. And at the time that he won a championship here in Chicago, he did pull older players, a Candace Parker who was in her late tenure, right, and others that came along with his draft picks of that time. James Wade went on to win a championship, guys. Mm-hmm. Yes, he did. But was they the number one team? No, they weren't. They actually was in sixth. They was fighting for fifth and sixth place.
Right. And they were struggling to get in the playoffs. Yeah.
Ended up being in the middle. Mm-hmm. So you had a middle team in 2021, which we hope that this team would have been in what Jeff Pagliocca tried to follow the way of James Wade. When he did win a championship with the same type of sentiment, but not with the exact type of players. Yes, Candace Parker was hurt for the fourth time when she came to the Chicago Sky, right? Mm-hmm. She also was a heavier Candace Parker when she came to the Chicago Sky because of injuries and things and recovery and coming back. As you age, you get more weight. Is that right? So she was, maybe she said she was at least 1.5 steps slower than when she came into the league. But the inspiration of it all was that Candace Parker wanted to come back to Chicago 5 years ago because she's 40 now. So she was 35 when she hit the ground here in Chicago, right? Mm-hmm. At the same age, the prominence of a injured tiger, right? The injured tiger is a vicious killer because he's injured or she's injured, and survival is for her all day, every day means of the way to live, right? So we got Courtney Vandersloot coming back to Chicago to soil royal oats that was spilled and not glorified and retrieved, as she was not the first option, the second option, or the third option. I said this to the ladies when we was offset. She by far, she was maybe the fourth or the fifth.
On that championship team.
Okay. On that championship team. It says, Courtney Vandersloot say, "Dear Chicago, I am so grateful to you," Vandersloot wrote in part of the letter to the city. "My first time ever setting foot in Chicago was the day I landed in training camp for my rookie year. 12 years later, it became a place that I would call home. One of the biggest blessings in my life was to meet my wife, and together built a championship team in her city. Although I never planned for this day to come, I have decided that it is time for me to pursue a new beginning. I will forever be grateful for the memories that I have made during my time here. As I looked ahead to a new chapter with a new team and a new city, know that Chicago, its fans, and Sky organization will always hold a special place in my heart." So even here, you have Courtney Vandersloot in her statement that she left in the Chicago newspapers. The feeling of she needed something new.
Right. She had,
but she don't feel in her heart that something new that here in Chicago that has been placed, something that is new here in Chicago have been put into place with Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso, new blood, with a Michaela Alawade, because she's fairly young, only 4 years into the WNBA. And then, of course, the two new rookies, Haley Van Liff and Maddie Westbelt. You have younger players along with the Ariel Atkins. So fairly young team. But Courtney, you don't realize, maybe you feel that your time hasn't passed. Maybe you feel like Candace came and did it. But Candace, once again, was 35. Candace, once again, was in search of a place that she can call her home, which was her home. And who would take an injured Candace Parker at the time? She didn't have real good ratings at the time because everybody was afraid to mess with Candace Parker because of injuries. Is that right, Sister Tony?
Correct.
Okay, so then you have James Wade took the risk, came to an ailing Vanguard and brought her to Chicago. In that piece, you had a great run. You won a championship. But coming here to Chicago and think that Jeff Pagliocca will be able to pull lightning in the bottle for a second time is absurd. Everybody know how hard it is to win in the WNBA. Everyone should know how hard it is to win in any type of professional league. There is a lightning in the bottle in itself. But to repeat a methodology, an ideology, a systematical chance to try to do that feat once again is no. What has happened though, and I will land with this, Chicago Sky found themselves in a place where they did not know who their franchise player was when they drafted her at number 7. They did not know what she was going to be when they drafted her at number 7. They did not understand the magnitude and the power of the most talked about NIL deal and the most celebrated champion in the culture that they brought to Chicago. So therefore, it's a lack of understanding. It's that when it's a lack of understanding, the lack of respect is also there. When you misunderstand and misunderstood, there has no place for prominent respect. When I say prominent respect, yes, they respect her as a baller. Of course, they drafted her. They do respect that she was a champion. They drafted her, but they did not respect the megastar that this girl, this young lady is. They did not expect that she would actually be coming here and rising to the occasion and being over the number 3 pick, plus all of the veterans that they did keep, Dana Evans, Diamond DeShields, and of course, you had Marina Mabry, who they traded and got rid of Kakapa, you know what I'm saying, in the midst of all of that, making Marina Mabry the face of what they were trying to push in shooters.
Mm-hmm.
They was not ready for that type of young lady to come in, take her spot, show her dominance, and show that she is a true number 1 or number 2 option on anybody's team. They actually did not do that because even Teresa Witherspoons did not know the extent of this young lady's motor. She knew she had it, but she didn't understand what it would ultimately be. And this is what we're seeing in her sophomore year. When sophomores usually decrease, she increased. Usually in sophomore year, you hit a wall. She had a slow start and took off. And now you see and hear her in the top 10 players talked about throughout the WNBA, in the entire league and the world. Chicago Sky, because of this young lady is now being talked about all over the world. And I want to say this, Keisha, as I took the time that I took so that I wanted our viewers here on the Players Club to understand that Angel Reese has now taken the Chicago Sky into a depth of what Michael Jordan did with the Chicago Bulls. There are young children across all types of seas that is wearing the Chicago Sky jersey, which we know that and factor it in is to be true. Now that the Chicago Sky has been a global prospect across the waters, that Angel Reese has also put prominence in every single genre, from music to film to even walking that walkway is soon to come to the Met Gala. You got what I'm saying? So therefore, they didn't understand the magnitude of this young lady and the total respect that she should have. But this respect has came to this young lady, and because she has a voice, she let it be known that she had a voice since day one, Sister Tony, Sister Keisha, that she hit the floor of the Chicago Sky. She wanted to voice her opinion. She came humble, played through the last season in her place. Then they asked more for her, and she said, as you ask for more, I'm going to voice my opinion. Took the offseason in her own hands, went to Unrivaled. From Unrivaled, won a championship in a developmental league that is now 350 million richer. Right now, 350 million richer, because they chose to have Angel Reese a part of that Unrivaled course. Now, Chicago Sky, up 17 million from last year, Sister Keisha and Sister Tony. Now, what are you going to do? When you have a person that put butts into seats, what are you going to do? When you have a new blood that can bring you more and more people to come and celebrate your team in your city that you said that you want to win in our land?
Hey, look, I'm glad you made a segue into that, bro, Claude, because I don't think what Jeff Pagliocca and Pagliocca, I don't think him and Courtney Vandersloot one of the things they don't realize that is different while they trying to recreate what worked before. I don't think they understand the money aspect of it. I'm gonna play this video and then we're gonna talk about it. Here we go.
That's been a large critique of all of this, that she doesn't have a ring, right? We're talking different currencies here. One, first off, we see star players do this all the time without a ring. This is not a new thing across pro sports. Like, nope. Like this is not a new thing by any means when it comes to star players using leverage. Is it new in the WNBA? Like, this doesn't happen in the WNBA. But you want to know why? The currency is different in the WNBA. Because frankly, motion in the WNBA is the biggest currency of all right now. And Angel Reese has motion to go up against anybody right now. And to that point, you've seen champions come and go. They didn't give. The Chicago Sky organization did not give. You've seen these champions come and go. You've seen MVPs come and go, but they didn't have the motion. And we talked about in your article, Andrew, you can see it in nocastspacewwe.com, where you provided the context of, hey, look, yeah, we were winning, but business didn't change when players left. I'm going to tell you right now, Angel Reese walks out that door, business is going to change. Business will absolutely change. There is no doubt in my mind that the business will absolutely change. You will lose money if you lose Angel Reese. This is the PEMDAS here is not very hard. Okay.
This is not Elena Delle Donne.
This is not hard to calculate here. And so that is the only thing to me that in comparison to EDD leaving, to Ka leaving, you go through the whole list. The thing that makes this so much different is the moment we're in women's basketball, how empowered these players are, especially within a CBA year, and what they are requesting, and rightfully so. But you're dealing with an anomaly. There's only a couple players that can go and do this truly, and Angel Reese is one of them. And you are an organization that has a history of this. You're an organization that has a reputation of being poor, and frankly, everyone knows, deep down, everyone knows Angel Reese is right. And that is what I'm incredibly intrigued to see how that changes this, because the motion is going to follow.
The motion is what he kept calling it.
He said the motion.
He kept calling it the motion. The motion is gonna, and I really and truly don't think they understand the motion of it, to his point. Hold on, guys. So Pretty Tony is 132 subscribers. Get her some subscribers. Hit the subscribe button on So Pretty Tony's channel. She trying to get to 200. Go on, hit your girl up. Help a girl out, y'all. Help her
please,
out.
Please, come on.
Hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. But I don't think they understand the motion. As old boy kept saying, the motion that she brings, that wherever she go, the emotion just gonna go right with her. So y'all speak, and look, before you go, Tony, maybe they don't want the motion. I don't know, but there's a backlash that's gonna happen if they don't make this work. And the second thing is, you got two teams drawing a line in the sand. You got Jeff P and Vandersloot over here drawing a line in the sand, and then you got Angel Reese and the future and the motion.
Future and motion.
You got the future and the motion. So you got to ask yourself, do you want to try to capitalize in this, I guess, next year, or do you want to capitalize for years to come? Because even if you go back to what you think working, and I don't think it's going to work, bro, Claude and Tony, I don't think you can recreate it. But even if you want to go back to what you thought was working, it's not a long-term thing. It's not a long-term plan. There's an expiration date on that recreation. You see what I'm saying? But on this other new thing, if you will build it right, you can have sustained success. Like Bro Claude was saying, you can take your franchise kind of like Jordan took the Bulls. But you got to have the foresight to see the motion that you are supposed to be riding on. Instead of embracing the motion, they are trying to pump the brakes on the motion and drag us back to what they comfortable with. Tony, I'll let you go.
Well, I'm going to say this, and I got to take my glasses off for this, right? He said it best than anybody can ever put it. Motion. You lose her, you pretty much lose it all right now, because you've backtracked every year since you've won a championship. You have been trying to define the Chicago winning streak or a winning team since then. Every year, you have lost worse than you've lost the previous year. And I recapped that yesterday morning with Bro Claude in our show. This type of player will not come around again for Chicago. This is a one in a lifetime opportunity for Chicago to capture everything that this young lady has to offer. You use her the best way you know how to gain your capitalism. You use her to get the things that you want and need in Chicago. So future Chicago players can have what everybody else is having. And she's willing to allow you to use her. That's the part about it. She's allowing you to use her in that aspect. And you cannot even figure out a way to capitalize on it, because your alliance is with someone older who used to be who once was still playing, but is not what you were before. It's going to tank. It's tanking, and it's only going to get worse. So you use the media to your advantage to try to label and depict and continue the vitriol of this young lady because she told you what she wants for the future. And if not, it's going to be time to move on. This is going to be her third year going into the WNBA in her professional career. Who wants to? And when you are, regardless to whether you came in as the franchise player, she is the franchise player for Chicago. And when you're that player, you should have wiggle room to be able to speak. There are some things you should say and shouldn't say. We all understand that. She's young. We get that. And those are, like he said early on, are growing pains that as a young player will go through because they want so much so fast, right? And they want to be successful quickly. So what better way to do it? Like I said, it's such a fast pace of a game now. The game doesn't slow down for anybody. And it's definitely sure as hell not going to wait for anybody.
No.
So it's not going to wait for a GM. It's not going to wait for a coach. It's not going to wait for trainers. It's not going to wait for facilities. It's not going to wait for any of that. If you don't already have those things and this young lady is allowing you to use her, she's giving you the reins to use her to get what you need for this city because she'd like to be here for her entire career. But now we know that that's not going to happen. As things continue to come out and you see what this organization is truly about, I personally, if I was her agent, would take a deep, hard look into her staying here. And that's my opinion. And that's how I feel. As a player of her caliber, you cannot remain in a place that don't value you or aren't going to give you the things that make you even more valuable. But it also fits in perfectly with Chicago because it gives Chicago so much more. It gives them hope. It gives them somewhere to go. It gives the fans more to do. It puts more butts in the seat. It puts more money on the table. It gives you all these revenues that you need.
Gives you access.
Access. She's bringing you celebrities and all of these people, putting butts in the seats. She's giving you what we said, and he said it best. Couldn't do. Those other players that you named that all left or was moved around or traded did not give you the value beneficial wise for Chicago. Some of them better players, sure, doing their time. They were here. But I've noticed, and when you research the history of Chicago, every player that they've let go have gone to other teams and have been extremely successful. And you sit back and you say you wish you had those players, but sometimes it's not about a player, it's about the organization, it's about the people you're surrounded with and the coaching staff along with your GM, because this is a business. So the value of what she has and what she's able to bring and continue to bring and future on bringing reaches new heights every year for Chicago. As you can see from year 1 to year 2, the heights that it reached financially when it came to the facility, the seating, the ticket sales and merch and all these other things that they have. Bringing billboards, bringing this, bringing that. And you now have someone that will eventually be an Angel Wilson, not Angel Wilson, but will be herself, but a star of a suit. Not just, man, she does so much off the court. This is what she does on the court, and she's not just a rebounder. The value of what Angel brings is unmatched. It's unmatched. I don't care who you bring in here. It is unmatched. And this is a once in a lifetime deal for Chicago. And if Chicago screws it up, they'll never have another. And that will be solely on the very top all the way down. And if her teammates don't value her the way that they should, because they feel some type of way of what she said, and they didn't really listen to the message. They just took what the messenger said and went with a narrative versus understanding what the message was. I think that they would have saw this a little bit different, as the rest of us do, right? Because although we're on the outside looking in and we don't play the game with Angel, we're not in their facility, we're not in their locker room, we don't get to have, arm's reach or length of her, right? And we don't have her ear. We have her ear, but from afar if she watches this. But we don't have that camaraderie with her to be able to have those type of close conversations that the people that are around her do. And one of the things about Angel is once you make her feel like you don't support her, you lose her completely here. And she is someplace else. I am a Taurus, and so is Angel. And we do not believe in second chances. That's just the nature of the business. You cross me once, shame on you. You cross me twice, shame on me. And I swear I wouldn't be a fool. And if you've ever paid attention to this young lady throughout the time that she's been playing sports, you know that she's no fool. She's very, very smart, very brilliant, and she's very calculated in what she does. And with that, I'll end.
Bro, Cleasy, is your city about to fumble the bag? Ain't that what them young people say?
That's
fumble
what I
the
say.
bag.
Fumble the bag.
Fumble the bag.
Yep.
Well, they fumbled the bag so many different times that this is a culture of Chicago Sky organizations of fumbling the bag and not getting absolute production. See, when you buy and invest in anything, when I bought my car or my truck, I expect to drive that truck for at least 20 years because I buy it for durability. I buy it because it's an investment in my home and what is being able to be useful for me and my family. So when I invest in something like that, I make a good choice and a decision to make, and also on the value of it. In the last 5 years, 2020 to 2024, the Chicago Sky performance has varied in a notable success. 2020, 12 and 10. 2021, 16 and 16. 2022, 26 and 10, WNBA championship. 2023, 18 and 18, and 2024, 13 and 29. And as of right now, in 2025, we are at the biggest decline that can hit any type of major team, with 10 and 34.
32 right now.
32. 10 and 32. But we predict the next two games will not be with New York, even though we have beat New York. Being that Angel may be present, we can pull that off again, maybe, because they won't play their starters going into the playoffs because they set in where they need to land and New York want to get their people rest and ready for the playoffs. But definitely on Tuesday, tomorrow, we will see the Las Vegas Aces enter Chicago to play the Chicago Sky for the last time this season. And I think that, as I said before, we have not had on the Chicago Sky a megastar. And is what Sister Tony alluded to, of this is a once in a lifetime champion. Just like the LA, Sparks have an opportunity again after maybe 20 years after Lisa Leslie and Candace Parker hit the floor together.
Yeah.
They have now another opportunity with the stars that they have with Cam Brink and Rakia Jackson and Kelsey Plum and what they bring to start, to startism. But what Chicago Sky has, no stars. Every single star has left the building. Every single star has left the building. Why? Because of the toxic attributes of a second-class franchise. A first-class franchise does what it does. But I can't even rate Chicago Sky as a second class because at least they would have the locker room figured out. But a third class operation, and maybe we can go as far as saying a third world operation.
Right.
This is a result of owners not listening, not knowing the temperature. This is a lesson for owners to see that they can't find these type of players on a rock, on a beach, in a city, on a college team. They don't come like this lady. They don't come like this. So, Sister Tony, I kind of pushed back small in a minute phase of motion. This is the leader of the culture.
Yeah.
See, motion is motion. This is what's trending. This is what's happening now. But motion, as we know, has a cycle of turning down. No, not what we got here. None of us. But I see it. Not that I'm glazing and no, but I do know what a megastar is. I did know who Diana Ross is. I do know who Beyonce is. I do know of those type of people, those women. I'm not going to the men because we know what the men has brought. But I'm talking about a megastar that can do all types of things and genres. Go to places where you never have gone before in the Angela Bassett. You understand, as I follow with mega starism, the popularity of Angel Reese is the culture's product. Never have the WNBA have come into contact with the culture. Never. The culture is what they produce and what they perceive to be, right, Sister Tony, is the culture of the WNBA.
Absolutely.
But now they have stepped out of the culture of the WNBA, Sister Keisha. This is no longer the culture of the WNBA. The They have now stepped into a world of culture.
Yeah.
It is totally different than your house that has a first floor and no basement. And this is what they were living in. But now they have built a house that has a third floor and a basement. A bigger house from 17 square foot to 42,000 square feet. And it's a long trail to walk just to go to the bathroom. And these guys have taken a dump and trying to, hey, you know, I'm gonna hit them with the one-liners. They have taken a dump right there in the living room, thinking it is the washroom.
Oh man.
They have also taken a dump on the dining room table where everyone can eat.
Ah, damn.
When you have dumped on any dining room table and the people that is in the house know about it, unless you're a baby who has, you know what I mean, climbed on the table and have a boo-boo diaper. But even then, it's hard for you to eat off of that table.
Yeah.
It's hard for you to sit in that room without that going on in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
There is a shitty deal going on here, Sister Keisha.
Mm-hmm.
There is, Sister Tony, an amusement park of failures, Clown City. And this is the culture that has been displayed on this in particular Sky team. To get them out, I will leave you with a parable of a great man. He said, make all things new, and there will be prominence. So, if you want to ask me, Sister Keisha, on your questionnaire, what do I think that Chicago Sky would do? Me and Sister Tony have discussed this many times, and me and you discussed it today. They're going to keep her, and they're going to put her through hell because they don't want to let it go. They don't want to let it go, and they're going to make her stay. Unfortunately for Angel in our land.
I will tell you this. If they do, because we've talked about this off camera, if they do, it's going to be one of the biggest PR nightmares we ever watched,
ever seen
unfold. Because at this point, you can't really straddle the fence, and we about to get up out of here. Can't straddle the fence. You're either going to choose the future and the motion, or you're going to try to recreate what once was. You got to make a decision. Now, what once was can be a part of the future.
But the future.
But the role has to be different. And if the once was doesn't want to accept that role, then
it's
you
time
have
for them
to
move around.
You got to move forward.
You got to move around from them, I mean. You got to think of the future of Chicago Sky. You cannot dwell on the here and now. And I've heard P, and so we can hurry up and get out of here. I've heard Jeff P in the beginning talk about when now. Well, what happens with the future? So you lose your future because you want the now. Then what happens if something happens, right? God forbid, she re-injures herself. Then she should definitely be done, right?
And then,
or she only takes a year. Yeah, you waste another year, or you wait and let her stay and play another year or two, and then she retires, because essentially that's where it's going to go. She is not that type of player to be able to play as long as what's her name did before she retired last year from the Suns.
Diana Taurasi. Yeah.
She cannot play as long as Taurasi.
Diana Taurasi was
Diana Taurasi. Yeah.
She was durable.
Yeah.
A phenomenon.
That is not a slew, right? So when we think of longevity, you have to think about that. Slew is not her, will not be her, and hasn't been her and never will be her.
No.
You've got to look at your future. It is important and it is imperative for your entire program. It's imperative. But I totally agree with you, Keisha. It's going to be a PR nightmare if you choose wrong. You choose wrong and you lose. You lose it all.
Yeah, because you're dealing with somebody with motion.
Yeah.
That's what
I say. That is a powerful
knows.
young woman. That's a powerful young, that is a powerful young 23-year-old. She's very powerful.
Yeah.
She comes with a big punch. And I'm telling you, it's not that easy. She comes from a family of professionals. So make no mistake, she knows what she's doing. Sometimes she speaks a little too much, but who doesn't when they're that young? She's young, she's vigorous, she wants to win, and I don't blame her. And say what you will when you have that type of motion.
And when you want to win, you're passionate about it. I love it.
Yes.
Hey, tell me. But hey, we about to get up out of here, chat. Let us know what you think. Get in the comments. We'll respond to you. Angel Reese got motion, y'all.
She got a lot of motion, and she's gonna show you what she's working with.
And if
she's gonna show you what she's working with when the season's over. She let him slide last year. She ain't gonna let him slide this year.
You know, I just hope it don't look. This is as the sky turns. I'm pretty sure something gonna happen tomorrow.
Don't Jason Whitlock her now.
I'm sorry. I know something else gonna happen tomorrow. You stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Because there's a game tomorrow. So let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Hey man, thank y'all for rocking with us in the Players Club. Thank you, Tony.
Actually, it's a game today. It's a game
it is. It's already the next day.
Yeah, we just work all the time.
We night owls. We love being up. We love being up. We can't keep up with the day.
Right. Thank you for being with me, bro, Cleasy and Tony.
Of course. Thank you, Ready Makeway. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate you. Sierra, who was in earlier. Thank you for coming in.
We out of here. We out of here, chat. We out of here. Hit us up in the comments.
Yeah. Love, peace, and hair grease.
Holla.